I stand here, how everything kind of fits together. I mean, everything is, even your words right now. And as I was driving in, I was looking at the trees and the beauty and the color of trees that are dying, you know. So, anyway. So where to begin to address a 375-year history that transcends many different iterations, times, and places? I felt I could only be faithful by focusing on what was true for our sisters throughout history, and which remains true for all of us today. What was the driving energy that in each age impelled these women, and that continues to be an invitation for us today? We chose the readings today intentionally with this in mind. We know that we are compelled by our mission of unity, total double union. Our union with God and with every kind of neighbor, no distinctions. But how does this happen? How is it realized? Key and most important to accomplishing this mission has always been the path identified in the first reading from Philippians 2. Self-emptying, humility, letting go. But how do we know what it is that we need to let go of or be emptied of? Trust me, if we really don't know, it will be shown to us. The circumstances of our life bring it into full view. What keeps coming up or getting in the way of my moving forward? What drains my energy? What is it that I need to let go of? Where do I experience loss? I couldn't help but think of this as I listened to Sister Ann Dillard the other day, on Saturday, when she spoke about grief and loss. I have a little story to tell you about that. When my mom passed away, my dad was bereft. He had spent his whole life, because he was older than she was, he spent his whole life thinking he was going to die first. And so he had spent his whole life getting everything ready for her, so that she would be taken care of once he died. Well, she died before he did. And he came to me one day and he said, I can't pray. I'm mad at God. I said to him, take your anger and sit with God. God can handle your anger. God can handle your grieving. Yell and complain all you want, swear, whatever you want to do. So he did that for a while. And then one day he came to me. And I could tell he was at some kind of peace. And what finally came to him, he said, as he sat there mad for several weeks, was that what finally happened is the anger left him. And what surfaced was the joy and love he had experienced in their relationship for 52 years. So we go to God with our weakness, our neediness. Weakness, neediness, emptiness connects us to God, because God looks at us and sees his son Jesus, who emptied himself. So our grieving is a gateway to God, to grace, not only for ourselves, but for our world. We go to God empty-handed, hands open, ready to receive whatever God might want to put there. So what is standing in the way of my being able to receive? From others or from God? Ultimately, we are receivers, not doers. We are learners, always listening and waiting for God to let us know what is standing in the way of great love, in the way of inclusive, all-embracing love, in the way of my being able to receive God's love. As receivers, we come to realize, as our constitutions say, that everything is gift. The Maxims of Perfection, chapter 2, say, a heart empty of all is at the same time filled with God. A heart empty of all is at the same time filled with God. The poet Rilke says, when we let go of our agendas and expectations, whatever we're hanging on to, we allow ourselves to see beneath preconceived ideas. We see with new eyes. We stay awake and alert, participating fully even in the messiness of life. And we keep our eyes open for the Holy Presence in our midst. So letting go creates space in us, space for newness, for God to do or invite us to something new. It is God's love that enters the emptiness in us. And then our path, our weakness, our fragile world becomes the birthplace of love. A word of caution here. We can't skip or race through this process of letting go. To paraphrase Thomas Merton in his book Contemplation in a World of Action, the person who attempts to act and do things for others or for the world without letting go, without deepening his or her own self-understanding, without freedom, integrity, and capacity to love, will not have anything to give others. They will only pass on their anxieties, their fears, and their obsessions to the neighbor. Without letting go, we pass on our obsessions, our fear, and our anxieties to the neighbor. As individuals and as a congregation, we have been letting go, going through emptying for many years, especially most recently. So we are perfectly poised to pass on God's love to the neighbor. Is it any wonder that we who are steeped in the tradition of a Jesuit, that the Suscipe of St. Ignatius would be in our DNA as well? This is the Suscipe. Take, Lord, receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, my entire will. Give me only your love and your grace. That's enough for me. Your love and your grace are enough for me. It is in this vein that in the early documents, Father Medaya describes us as the congregation of the great love of God. Not that we're great. It's God's love that is great. It's God's love that makes our loving great. I've always said, my love is too small. The model for us of this kind of love is St. Joseph. Joseph, who teaches us to love the world with the same kind of compassion that he had for Jesus and Mary. Compassion, empathy is not weakness. It's a decision to live as if love still matters. Because we have faced our humanity, we are able to be with the dear neighbor as one with, shoulder to shoulder. Our letting go, our emptying affects all of our relationships. It opens us to receive God's love. And being loved by God, we experience our belovedness. And we are reminded that every person is the beloved of God. As C.S. Lewis says in his book, A Grief Observed, when he's grieving the loss of his wife, he says, and now the pain of letting go is part of the love and the joy, and that's the deal.